bird told me that that all those ionic bonds that people are trying to recycle inside of those machines, it's the reason why I can't use them, because it uses nature. It uses all the alchemic bonds that actually are those things, and like, say for instance, trees and stuff that used to be in Afghanistan or in other places. Those are all gone. Because people probably back in the day used technology that was radioactive. Yeah. And they decided to start getting elements and not using gloves or anything like that because they didn't know that it was still radioactive even if it was being contained fully. That's what happened, guys. It's a huge nuclear reaction. Huge nuclear reaction. It constantly blew up a bunch of different shit. It sucks. It's really bad, guys. It was really bad. It's the reason why they keep fighting with other things, because they think it's better for the environment. Understandably so. They're still terrorists because they're stupid and dumb. Still terrorists. Didn't do anything, kids. Sorry, world peace isn't happening right now. Not in the cards. Shit it. Sorry, guys. All those models, those women from Miss America and all that other stuff, they're not gonna show up. But police cars will shows up. All the police cars show up sometimes. Most of the time. Pretty much all the time. Remember that, guys. If you ever try to force me to say anything fucking stupid, realize that I didn't say anything that ever insinuated anything. I just went through the production of what that thing might be. It might be. Realize. It might be. Understandably so. That's the reason why. If the Earth learned to be able to recycle any of its stuff, then it would turn into a tree. That's the reason why, the science behind it. Because it gets hard and it gets really, really dark, no matter if the sun's on there or not. Also, bark gets really warm for some reason. Maybe because it's out in the sun all those times. So, realize, if you ever try to mess with any of those things, you're not going to die, but realize that you need to be able to rest. Because it takes away, not your mental capacities or your personality, it takes away your entire ionic bonds that help your DNA function. It's the reason why people have constantly been feeling tired sometimes. All those hover skateboards are gonna be put in delay, probably. Next time they start feeling like smoking cigarettes and then playing with the smoke, they'll realize they're not windbenders. Ah, guys, I'm sorry, that was from Avatar. Darn. So yeah, realize, if you ever mess with any of those kind of technologies and you felt really tired afterwards, it's not because you have PTSD. It's because you were almost irradiated. Almost irradiated. Sorry about that. Didn't succeed in trying to kill yourself. Sorry. Darn. But realize it can be reversed. It can be reversed. Immediately. Just eat some food, drink some water, stuff like that. Don't starve yourself, you know? It's the reason why those ionic boosters on whatever thing they're using are going to be scrapped and torn apart and never learned how to make those things ever again. Because I just come to an epiphany. A bird told me. It tweeted. I totally agreed, and we came to a conclusion. Together, forever. Beautiful. Amazing. That bird told me that everything that I thought of was a lie, but it was only a lie if people would have never made it. Unfortunately, they made it. They realized how fucking dangerous it is, and then it probably dismantled and completely lost the blueprints. Completely lost the blueprints is probably in some other dimension. Wait, guys, I'm sorry. That's Let It Die. I'm sorry, guys. It's just so many different things. Woo. So to realize, guys, research and development is an amazing thing. Okay. And research and development is amazing, and it always was. And don't be a terrorist, kids. Don't be a terrorist. Ever, ever, ever. Remember, kids, if you're being a terrorist, then you're gonna die.
Fuck me. Look at that.
Also, if you don't eat food and you never work out, then you're gonna die as well. Yo, you look good in the casket. It'll be great. But yeah, that's what happens usually, because people are stupid. Shit, guys. Shit. That song, it spells words, and then it makes me think that I'm free of having to deal with stupid bullshit all the time and constantly not knowing what's going on and being worried about a person that I actually cared about, then realizing they were just playing a bunch of jokes on me and being insensitive, so I had to leave her. What happens when people are stupid and insensitive? I don't... God dang it, I don't want to be in this. 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 Quit. 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 Yes. Is that a beautiful car? Look at that car right there. That is a beautiful free car. It was given to me. Not by a bird, by this video game. Also, realization of fact, people should not try to make things that are dead alive again. Just a thought, you know, don't try to make reflexes and reactions and stuff, because you never know. Life itself might have moved on, and the energy and material that is used probably might have gone to some other place in question. Granted, that place might not have any power yet, because they're probably going somewhere else. But also realize that there are people out there that care. There are people out there that understand what you're going through and how you're going through it. And the more you realize that that people out there care, the more you'll realize that you have friends no matter what. The more you'll realize that you have people that really care about you, and you have people that want to see you do good, and every single little success is amazing. And every single time you succeed at something, it's for you. Realize that. It's for your satisfaction. It's for your realization. It's for your emotions. It can make you feel better at night that the stuff that happened to you or happened because of you, or even didn't happen because of you, because there were a lot of times where it didn't happen because of people, and people blamed other people that were just overrun with guilt sometimes because of the things that happened in their lives. Also realize that there are people out there that know exactly what you're going through. Okay? Realize it and understand, because I can come out of these voices anytime I want to. I can literally I can just come out of them and tell people how I actually feel sometimes, but it's not actually what they want to hear. So that's usually why I say nothing sometimes. Sometimes you just have to walk away and realize that the situation itself is unfixable sometimes. And people try to play emotions off and try to do different things, but what they're going to understand is there are certain things out there that people don't really know. And if you realize a certain situation and you realize that people themselves are they're just running off the clock, basically, on their own time. There are a lot of times where people decided that there was something wrong, I guess, with me, and I started to believe them, I guess, and then I started feeling bad about myself because I thought I did something wrong. And I didn't, because I did something that no one else knew. I helped myself get out of stupid situations, and I made myself be better, because realize it's a wonderful time to be alive. Alright. So now that I made myself feel better, let's get back to the jokes. Ionic bonds are what sometimes goes through a cycle in a light bulb sometimes. Also, those ionic bonds is what sometimes creates light. Realize that those cycles and every single thing needs not just things. Jet. That's right, no cheat codes. Awesome. Keep forgetting, but it's okay. Realize that those things don't need, like, you don't need to throw a cow at it or something or anything like that, but realize that things are finite, you know? Sometimes power companies need to recycle different things. They're not hooked up by satellites sometimes, because they get all their information sometimes from those things. Sometimes they had to use different things they didn't want to be able to tell people. And the things they don't really understand is, things that people don't really understand is, everything's gonna change. I don't want to go into too much details about it, but it's all gonna change. Things are gonna get better, and realize that the more stupid kids or dumb idiots or people who just want to get their name out there try to make themselves a part of something that doesn't matter, the more they'll realize that no, they're not that person. No, they're not that thing. And no, that's not going to happen. Realize that those people are gone. They can believe and think all they want to. They can try to say what they want to. But they're going to understand that because certain things didn't go through, it just never made any sense. You can say that there's some sort of something that helping you, doing something, but realize that that thing isn't going to be there forever. Realize that the thing is going to be there because because you made some sort of agreement, because you paid it, because you paid that person, because realize that that's what people need to understand and realize is people are going to understand that it's what happens sometimes. People really don't understand the consequences of their actions. And they won't understand it because they don't realize where they are. And a lot of times people are going to realize and understand that there are a lot of things that people wish they were doing other than doing something. And I'm not going to play the team deathmatch. I'm going to go to a race. So just realize that there are a lot of times when you need to walk, man. There's a lot of times when you just walk it out. Realize it's just situations that went awry and you weren't ready. You were never ready. So that's the reason why. No, you just need to walk home. And not care about the consequences, because the situation that you're in, you know, is worse than it could be if you didn't walk away. No cheats. No stupidity. Some women, all they want is just pain. Some women, all they want is just something to laugh at. And you gotta realize that some stuff is just meant to never happen. And no matter what, you just gotta realize that as soon as they let go, you gotta let go too. But also realize that eventually you get across that bridge, you know? I know there's no amount of C4 that's gonna blow it up, because people already tried. And just realize A lot of times people kill themselves because they want to stop something from happening, because of their own fears. If Cuba had had more tourism, because that's what they were doing, then the Cold War would have never happened. But also, a lot of things would never come to light, and a lot of people that decided to make shells, basically, or play a shell game with something that was already dead, and they were mutating into something. A lot of times that happened, and a lot of times people got killed because of it. And the real reason because of something, the real reason because of something more, the real reason because of stupid people and their own selfish intentions is
Fuck you!
just realize that you don't have to believe in religion to be a good person. And if you're in religion and you don't believe in medication, then you're gonna have a tough time. A very tough time.
Let's go.
There were a lot of times where I believed in myself, and I tried so desperately to be able to believe in myself for some reason. And a lot of people were there for me, a lot of people I knew, and I didn't believe them for some reason. I just believed in myself. It's the way things go sometimes, because I was a soul inside of a young man's body. Understandably so. That's also the reasons why that's why I realized that people weren't doing the right things and didn't deserve something. That's the reason why I think that not every problem exists as one problem. The only reason why once something exists as one problem is if you're trying to create a normalcy, I guess, for someone. The only reason why your studies will be able to tell you what other people think and what other people do is because people are going through certain things sometimes, and the realization of fact that you shouldn't constantly just listen in, I guess. You should really realize that therapists are part of the equation. Realize that if you're a therapist and you don't tell people about yourself, or you don't tell people anything about yourself, people will ask more questions. You don't have to share anything about yourself that's personal. You can just tell people about metaphors and stuff, and things that celebrities share all the time because they went to therapy all the goddamn time. Understandably so, they probably went through some pretty terrible things, but and they probably needed it, but they don't understand that sometimes a group therapy, realization that other people are helping themselves too, can kind of get you out of your mood, you know? It can kind of get you out of your funk and realize that there are better things to actually think about. So, I'm going to try that right now. And we're going to think about stuff like this. People have no idea that this right here, this little pyramid with the eyeball on it, it looks a lot like the little dude Bill from Gravity Falls. Just a thought, you know? Just a little thought. So people try so hard to be able to pay attention to other people's lives. Just because they want to be a part of them. They don't want to be a friend. They don't want to help them. They don't want to do anything about it. They just want to be there for them. And the next time that they think that something's going to happen to them, just there in case of emergencies, I guess. So, and it's not funny, but it's also extremely depressing, and I'm really going through it right now. But it's okay. Realization of fact is that they're not going to be there for you, but realize that you made a friend. Eventually, you'll start to realize that there are a lot of people out there that are very, very amazing and do very, very amazing things. The complication of facts sometimes is that people assume that just because they make more money than someone, that they're gonna do something about it, or say something about it, or do something about anything. The most that I've actually found about anything is that people who usually have money are keeping to themselves constantly because they're constantly paranoid about all their money. And they are usually. They're really paranoid about it, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. It doesn't cause any symptoms or anything. But what it usually does is causes people to steal things from them. Understandably so. I think that there are a lot of people out there that believe in certain things that I don't, and it's the reason why I choose to believe in the comedy that I actually do, and the people that I actually want to be around sometimes, because I know that they're not going anywhere. The more times I realize that people aren't gonna try to run away and hide in a situation that's an emergency, you just have to know that sometimes those are the people that actually know exactly what it feels like to be alone, and they want friends, so they're not alone. You know, a lot of people didn't get to know each other sometimes because a lot of people don't realize that some of the drugs that they took affected their memory. It's the reason why a lot of the groups of biker gangs and a lot of different people actually started to just fight each other because they wanted to get to know them somehow and laugh about something, and they didn't know that someone could have just said a joke. And in order to save lives, I guess people really need to understand that there are some very powerful people out there, and they're not happy about what's been going on here sometimes. And I'm not talking about Marvel versus Capcom or anything like that. I'm talking about, like, not God, because God doesn't do shit. He just walks around and acts like a dumbass. I walked around for 8 days and I thought about it. Realized it was too hot and then I needed more water. Also, Jesus was probably trying to cover up all of his tattoos. There are some very nice people out there, though. The realization of fact is that you don't meet the nice people because of the bad people. And you should never associate the two sometimes. Or else sometimes they go to literal fucking war. Like, just war. Like, on top of war. On top of war. On top of more war. Because there are just people out there that are depressed that they're not the person they thought they were. Or they're not the person that they see on the TV screen. I don't pay attention to the character that way. I think sometimes the reason why I don't care that I'm wearing a brown jacket A brown suede jacket. That's what I'm wearing. Not really. But my character's wearing a brown suede jacket. And it's funny. Because if anybody knows my character, they'll realize the character is mostly me. What they don't understand is I did things that were really cool in a lot of different places, and I do a lot of stuff, and I like doing that stuff, and I don't care exactly how much I get paid, just as long as it's enough to be able to buy a yacht. A 32,000-foot yacht. 32,000-foot yacht. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Just gonna buy a 32,000-foot yacht, guys, and I'm gonna pimp that shit out. It's gonna be tight. No sharks gonna be biting me. I don't give a shit. I'm not worried about a fucking fishing boat. Not gonna be landlocked in this motherfucker. Gonna have a whole bunch of stuff, man. Freaking 32,000-foot yacht. Whee! Be working, man. Be working because I'm gonna be turning that wheel, or letting somebody else turn that wheel, because because I don't know how to do it, because I never learned, because I'm not fucking retarded, and I don't try to do things I don't know how to do. Granted, I do try to learn things as much as possible, and that's the reason why I like to study. I do like to study, and it keeps me calm a lot of times. It's the reason why I like to yelp off facts. I like yelp them, because I rate the facts too. But sometimes the facts are freaking wrong, but understandably so. I don't disagree with them, because they're probably that way for a reason. So stupid fucking terrorists don't try to use a whole bunch of dumb shit to try to make something that explodes. All the time for no reason. For every reason, to the fact that that the Earth literally reacts with it sometimes if it's ionic bonds. That's the reason why it constantly breaks down or explodes if you use too much ions in something and the wind turbine can't take it. It breaks down. That's what happens to turbines all the time, because you get stuff stuck in there, and because of it moving so fast, you don't confuse the object. It's dumb. Because of the velocity of something, the mass itself starts to expand. So every single time, you're gonna have to make it thinner and thinner and thinner. And realize that if you would have made it thinner, the turbine's thinner, then they would have never broken down. I love you, New Orleans. But also realize if you ever throw like a tack in there, it's not gonna fucking do anything. Except ruin a perfectly good tack. Because it'll have turbine on it. Also, people can be stupid. But realize that if you take that tack out of that turbine, if you try to jump in the turbine and get the tack, you're not going to win. You're never going to win. Just quit staring at that turbine and walk away. Walk away and don't be stupid. There we go. Good times. Don't be stupid. Don't try to look at the optical illusion that is the wind turbine. That's what happens. People are stupid and don't realize they're not in a wind tunnel. Sometimes you get entranced by stupid shit and don't realize it. And no, shut up. I know also that my dad is sometimes an asshole. Especially when stupid kids get into stupid things. Or get dumb and then decide that they're gonna do stupid things and say things that don't make any sense. Like, you know how a thing does something and then you know how that thing does something else? No. That thing doesn't do anything else except spin around in circles. And you get dizzy because it's a turbine. It shoots out exhaust. It has a runoff, but it does shoot out carbon sometimes. Not any other particles, but carbon it lets off of. Because the Earth itself has particles that constantly, yes, it makes it rust and they have to replace the turbine sometimes. Or just shine it, I guess, make it all shiny. Don't keep the rust though, throw that away. Don't make it sharp. Don't ever make it sharp, because then if you try to fix it, yeah, it doesn't turn on because people are stupid. It doesn't turn on because people are stupid. It can cause metal shavings as the metal expands to be able to get in that thing. That's the reason why it has to be a rounded, molded edge. Rounded, molded edge, guys. The mid-turbine works. It's the reason why engines sometimes bust up, because little particles get inside and then it breaks off a piece of metal. That piece of metal wraps up inside of an engine, and that's where all those things come from. It's the reason why people should not be driving old planes all the time, because they're stupid and they were dumb. Use curved turbines. Use curved turbines. Use rounded off non-edge turbines. Dumbass has spoken. Do that. And then don't sharpen them. And every once in a while you gotta look at them, because the carbon literally will come off of it because of the velocity of what it's moving at. You gotta work through anything, because one metal shaving could literally cause the entire thing to blow up. Don't just run through with magnets. Yes, run through with powerful magnets. Powerful, small, electrified magnets. Also wipe it down afterwards. Realize that napkins will not set anything on fire. Because it's a turbine, it's not a fire. Also, realize that there are a lot of things to do with a bunch of people, and they're really good at their job, and they're called the Army Corps of Engineers. You can't be one of them, kids, because you didn't go in the army. Maybe you'll be one later on when you're old enough, and they'll probably not put you anywhere near a goddamn turbine because you tried to put your fucking head in it. Don't be a dumbass. Don't do anything stupid. That's a picture of a turbine. You're just showing me a picture of a turbine. Understandably so. If it started moving, then you might want it to stand back. You might have wanted to stand back if it started moving. Or maybe to like the side of the turbine, you know, all that other different stuff. The voice has spoken. Alright, that's Johnny Carson, and it's funny because I used to watch Johnny Carson when I was a young kid. All the reruns, it was really funny. It was really great. And he had a really great sense of humor because he would realize a bunch of stupid stuff that people were doing, and he would just comment on it sometimes, and he wouldn't like hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. And that's kind of what I miss about the old times. But I realized that all that stuff was on camera because so much bad stuff was happening, and so many people were actually feeling very depressed, and they actually got to be able to make something of themselves because they got to be able to laugh about something every once in a while. So a lot of times I'm gonna do the stop. Yeah. That was awesome. Woo! I got a green motorcycle and a brown jacket. There were a lot of times where I believed in myself and knew a lot of stuff that was going on in my life, and I knew that there were a lot of times where I noticed a lot of people around, and when I was a young kid, a very young kid, I decided that there were a lot of things that I should know and a lot of things that I would know because of it, and I needed to get ready, so I decided to prepare myself and be able to do these things. It's the reason why sometimes I can multitask, and it's really good, but understandably so, I'm like laying down on a pillow right now, so it's not like I'm doing everything, like trying to move my feet that are constantly cracked sometimes. Really fun about that. Real fun. So I'm really, really excited about my feet cracking. Understandably so. If they didn't, then I wouldn't care. But hey, you know, everything's reason, and yeah, and the reason is and the reason is awesome. That old robot died. Sorry, guys. I know y'all really wanted that robot to live, but oh gosh, just took out that NPC with a motorcycle. She's fine, no worries. Yay, she's fine, no worries. There were a lot of times where I believed in a lot of things, and a lot of times when that part of my mind stayed dormant, or I didn't learn anything for a little while, I would go off on tangents sometimes and completely and utterly just like completely and utterly just not even care. But understandably so, I did care, and I did care a lot, because there were a lot of times when I noticed that people were doing things that were unsafe, and I'm not just like doing things that were bad or saying things that were stupid, but realizing that that if they didn't realize certain things, that they weren't gonna, that they needed to be able to understand certain things and know different things, that they lost their stuff basically, and it's hard sometimes to be able to live without certain things. sometimes, but realization of fact is that it always comes back, you know? It always does. And no matter how many times it happens, just realize that the times in your life are basically yours to keep, I guess. The moments that you share, I guess, with other people are better when you say something, because I noticed that every single time I tried to make friends, I would just say something stupid and I felt embarrassed, and I realized that I lacked in self-confidence a lot, and the only reason why I lacked in self-confidence is because I would try to say something and I couldn't think of it. And the more I'm practicing with this kind of verbal therapy that I'm doing for myself, the more I'm realizing that I had help, and I had a lot. I really did. I got a lot of stuff out, and I realized that there were things that I really needed to be able to see and know that weren't there, or didn't happen the way that I thought they did. I was constantly afraid sometimes because I was afraid that my parents would go off on me, and I was afraid of that because I was constantly seeing it like amongst other kids sometimes, or constantly sensing that stuff. You know how hard it is to be able to know that your friends are getting yelled at and kicked in the face? It sucks, man. It really does. And no matter what, they didn't realize that it's like, it's hard, you know? There are people out there that are positive and helpful, no matter what they've been through or what kind of lives they led. And if they've been doing legal stuff and if they've been completely legitimate, then damn, man, I'll fucking hang out, dude. Not fuck and hang out, but I want to hang out so badly and understand what the people went through, would understand what kind of problems they had, because I know this helps me a lot. And I'm just doing circles right now because it helps me focus on one point on the screen, because it helps me. It's really great. And also I'm practicing and taking turns, so it's fun. I'm not going to be doing this for real at all because I'm just going to be playing video games, though. It's going to be great. A lot of times I realize that the people were out there just to help me, and it made me feel better about myself. It made me think about myself, and made me know a lot of different things. And the more time I realized that there were people out there that could help, and I have to go to the bathroom, so. when I started noticing that people were out there for me and really had my back, and my dad started realizing that I was actually a good kid and that I wasn't trying to hurt anyone or tell anyone off or anything like that. I was really just trying to keep to myself a lot of times, and I think that kids got a bad rap back in the days that I was around, and that's the reason why I had to be able to make sure that I could keep myself if ever somebody tried to make fun of me. And I learned how to make fun of people, and it sucked because it was a bad decision. It was a very bad decision, and I just called the number to try to cheat on this game, and I can't because it's online. So, alright, we're gonna see if we can run over some people in the next server we go to, because this server has no people on it. And a lot of times I think that if people were out there just to hurt someone or like just to mess with someone, they had to realize that it's a tactical reason and a tactical thing that is the reason why people are able to do the things that they do. There are tactical things that people use to be able to make sure that bad people don't exist anymore. And not don't exist, but are dead. And that's the reason why bad people die. Challenge is over. Most of the time, whenever I believed in something better than myself, alright, we're gonna go see if we can run over some people. Because I don't have any guns. We're gonna use the car. Because we'll never use the car to hit anyone. Do. Because I am not in first person. Blah, 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 blah. Because if I was, then I wouldn't have peripherals. And it's freaking stupid as hell. Why not have peripherals? It's good for your eyes. To realize, guys, there's a lot of stuff out there. Stuff and things. Things and stuff. And also realize that there's a lot of people out there that would do a lot of really good things. And it's the reason why I'm being so vague right now. It's because I'm trying to play a prank on a kid who deserves it. Understandably so. If I was trying to play a harmful prank at all, I probably would be in jail. And then that's the reason why they let me out, free of charge. They told me to go home and never to come back again. And I told them it wasn't a prank. I was trying to tell him to stop doing something because he was doing something stupid. Because kids don't listen to their parents because they're stupid. Not parents. Kids are stupid. They're dumb and they do things that they want to. I remember when I was a kid and my dad told me not to ride my bike to the dark part of the park. realization of fact is that there are a lot of times when people, what? That's crazy. That dude got hit by the thing. There's a lot of times when I believed that that I would make it out of this town, and I would try to be able to do something that was completely and utterly different than what I was actually thinking about. And but then I realized that my goals were completely amazing. I made myself a business, and now I'm a successful person. Successful at making a business. I didn't really do anything with it. But that's all. That's all I'm successful at. Successful at making a business. That's it. And the realization of fact is that no, people don't understand how many times I'm amazing. How many times I'm really cool. How many times I am good at my job. When I have one. Very good at my job. And yes, Sherlock Holmes was a drug addict. They wrote it in. That's the reason why he sent his little errand boy to run around, because he thought it would be cool. Understandably so. Child labor laws in England did not allow him to do that, so he could not be paid. There are a lot of times where I believed that people believed in me a lot, and I understood what a good person I was. I understood I was a really good person, because there are a lot of times when kids knew answers, and I'd find out if they were cheating or not. Strange things. What, guys? And
don't ask.
Shut up. I won't. Don't worry. I won't ask. Agent 14. Jeez. There were a good amount of times where I believed that there were amazing people around, and there were a lot of things that people didn't know and people didn't understand, but there were also a lot of times where I believed that people were really good at their jobs, and sometimes they failed. I realized that I had to be better at my job, and I had to study a lot of different things, because I wanted to be ready if ever something ever happened, and a lot of times it did happen. I remember stopping stopping a horrible fight, I guess, one time, and then understanding that not understanding, and then making sure that I could stop people from completely injuring themselves after a rifling crash. I know my ex-wife has done that too, but I wasn't in a bunch of. There were people that were safe, and then that's the reason why I think that there are people in Mississippi that just want to die, and It was a bad experience, and I was introduced to the entire. It's like, okay, this is the reason why I said back in the day, and people aren't paying attention, so it doesn't even fucking matter. But it's okay. I said I went from baby to like to Legion, basically. I went from baby to Legion, like from yeah, Legion, as in Legion, all that stuff. I went from as a baby, I was really I was probably a really hilarious baby, and my mom laughed at me. But realization of fact is that I believed in so much, and I know that people don't understand what's going on sometimes because they're stupid, I guess, and they don't know what's going on sometimes. It's because they're dumb, and I don't believe in religion for a fact because of literally that fact, because they believe in a being that is always making more of itself. It's not an actual thing. It's not an actual thing at all. Never really was. It's just they believe in cells dividing. That's science. It's all based on science. All of it is. It's all of it based on a simple science that is very volatile if left unchecked. It's the reason why I wanted them to become a museum and then stop talking all that bullshit about how they're going to vote all kinds of stuff and become the next pop star in America. Or the next bullshit about their dumbness, because they're dumb and they're stupid. It's the reason why I don't like religion being in pop music, because they always think they have something to say about something when in actuality people are not talking about that. But hey, no one cares about these issues, right? We have sanctions on Russia. Michael Jackson got a bunch of vodka, right? That's what he did. He just got a bunch of vodka. That's all that he did. He never got anything else. What happened? Somebody else knows something about that, and they tried to... What? Maybe people stopped it because people want to trade with Russia sometimes. Especially if they have... Oh wait, I guess there's more sanctions though. Darn those sanctions, guys. Those poor sanctions, guys. Messing about. Look at them. Just on fire. Crazy sanctions. Look at that thing right there. Oh my god. It exploded. The sanctions exploded, guys. The sanctions totally exploded and everything's gonna be fine. Because I'm not talking. Because I'm amazing. I know I'm not drunk, I just smoked a bunch of cigarettes, I guess, so realize that, people can be a very good person, and I don't tell anyone anything because I'm not a dumbass. Maybe a world government isn't that far off if people just try to realize. They may have put it in backwards. We're trying to get to that vent in the Death Star. We're trying to get to that vent in the Death Star because that's probably where it is. It's probably upside down. It's probably... They were probably trying to get to the vent in the Death Star. I think they were trying to get to the vent in the Death Star. And they thought that Death Star was real and all those things were real. that might have been true a long, long time ago in a galaxy far away. But all those machines decided to change because they were all Transformers. All of them. They were all Transformers. They just changed. All those people got let out. They're like, bye, people. Go fuck yourselves. And then that's what happened. They were all evil. They were just doing stupid shit. That's all they were doing. They were just picking people up and trying to kill them. That's what happened, man. Star Wars, guys. That's what happened. It's all the time. And I'm not drunk. It's funny because I like to act like that, and it's funny. And sometimes I'll slow my breathing, and my face will get really pale, so it'll look like I'm like just gone. But I'll be like, what happened, guys? I can slow my breathing and slow my heart rate. It's funny because that's what happens sometimes. It's great, and that's my specific mutation, guys. I can fake like I'm a lizard. Woo! I win! Oh, man. And, there are a lot of times when I believed in myself and I knew that I could do certain things, and, it's probably because my dad did a bunch of stuff and, then taught me when I was a young kid or told me about it. Or was in the room when I heard about it, and he decided to start messing with me because I heard a lot of stuff, probably. So yeah, there's a lot of times where I was wiped as a baby, and there were a lot of times when I was taken care of as a baby. And I was a good kid. I was a good kid. It's gonna stay that way. It's gonna stay that way. It's gonna stay that way. I am a good guy, and I like to be myself. I don't like to be in passive mode like a little bastard. And there you go, and realize it. It's fun. It's gonna be good, guys. We're gonna win this. Look at all these cars, man. They're polluting everything. They're moving and they're shaking and they're making lots of. Look at them. They're just moving. That's what they're doing. So all right. I played this game way too much. I'm gonna go to Dark Souls later on. It'll be great. And then I gotta go to sleep now because what time is it? I don't know what time. What time is it? It's currently 2:49. Yay! I gotta go to bed, guys. Good night, guys. It's gonna leave it right there. Alright, be your own one-man personal bomb squad. It is really, really fun to make jokes about yourself and realize the fact that your problems aren't as big as they might seem. Realize the fact that there are people out there that help, and there are people out there that help a lot of people. And they'll know that there's a lot of things going on in people's lives, and there are people out there that are helpful, and I know a lot of different things. And just because of a certain thing that they hear, because they investigate as soon as they hear something. They always do. And remember that that you're it's not as bad as it might seem. And the more you realize who you are as a person, then we'll start to realize that there are people out there that care, and it may not seem so bad if once you realize that it's starting to get better sometimes. And that's where I leave this right now. So have a good day, and be yourself. And if no one is there to create therapy for you, create your own. But also realize, don't lose yourself in it. Realize that you're not that person. You're not the person that they see on anything. You're not supposed to be a character playing a person. You're supposed to be a person playing yourself. And realize that eventually, once people realize that you're respectable and good, they can probably base a character off of you in a movie or something like that. And it's usually based off people that are having a hard time. That's the reason why I love anime and a whole bunch of different other stuff. And hentai, because I realized that it wasn't Disney. And I like Disney, I do, but there are other things that I like as well. And there are other people that I realized that it was based off of sometimes. And I realized that there were a lot of times when I knew that there was a beautiful part of an amazing world that people knew absolutely nothing about. To know discovery and to know yourself, realize and make a pact with yourself to be able to realize the good in stuff and the good in things that are all around us, because people may notice that someone's dying over there, or someone's hurting. Just realize that there's a guy that's eating pizza. We're probably like 20 or 30 feet away from him. And there's something to laugh at. But realize that as something gets really hurt and everything gets put in perspective for some people, they'll realize that, yeah, stuff happened. People got ruined. People got hurt. And the way that I talk about it, the way that I say it, isn't going to change the fact that it happened the way that it did. And acknowledging and realizing that fact is the better part of your day. And realizing that it happened is acknowledging a problem and realizing that you need to fix it. And the more you fix it, the more you not jab at it, the more you just carve at it and try to create something amazing out of it. The more you realize something amazing, the more you'll realize that it's not all religion. It's not all something. Sometimes those are just things that you remembered, things that you thought that made you believe, and something that was more than just yourself. And sometimes they're not bigger. Sometimes they're pretty much small. Sometimes they're pretty big, and they're huge. But also realize that all that stuff, all those people, they're not gone. They're just waiting. So be yourself and realize that there is no bigger than this planet gets. This planet doesn't get any bigger, because the more you realize that there are things inside of it, the more you'll realize that there are people that really could have used something. And that really could have done something, and really made it better. So realize that and understand, because realize that people love this place for a reason. That people love this planet for a reason. And they're not going to let it go bye-bye. And there are a lot of things that people know and want to be cared about, and want to care about, because just be your own one-man personal metaphorical bomb squad. Diffuse situations before they happen, and make sure that you're a better person. And realize that it doesn't come together in a day. It takes thinking, it takes planning, it takes a lot of different stuff. And you can't just go with your first idea. Because your first idea is something you'll go fast with, and no one will be able to understand what you're saying. But understand that the next idea will be even better. And the next idea, and the next idea, and the next idea. Realize all those specific facts, and understand that there are people out there that want to help and want to be there for you. And if you have friends, and you have a support team, and you have people that actually like you, just realize that you're known, and that I'm known. People know me, and usually they want to make me feel better about stuff. But it's stuff sometimes that I have to go through on my own, and I can't have any help with it, because there were a lot of times when it didn't matter, when no one cared, when everyone just went home because they didn't see it, and I usually picked out the problem, stopped the thing that was going to happen, and then made sure that there were a lot of people out there that were helped, I guess. Be yourselves and understand that there are really amazing things. Have a good day.